about? What do you say? I can see Freetown. The city streets, a few wagons coming back from the market, people strolling around. What else? Beyond that, there's the city walls, and then barns stretching out behind them. What else? That's it, Grandma. There is nothing else. There's just fields as far as the eye can see. Those fields don't go on forever, you know. You see that dark smudge there on the horizon? Yeah, I think so. That's where our fields stop and the forests begin. That's where the bamboo grows so thick and tall it dawdles all the sunlight before it reaches the forest floor. That's where our land stops as the land of the cannibals begin. The cannibals? The cannibals are like us in many ways. But don't be fooled. Their bloodlines split, not fed. Did your mother ever tell you about cannibals? I'm not surprised she hasn't. She's never seen them, you know. But when I was a girl, everyone knew about the cannibals. They were everywhere. Even in Freetown? They never broke into our city. No. Our strong city walls kept us safe from them. But they would raid farmlands, a cassowary without us. No citizen of Freetown dare leave the city alone. If they were snatched up by the cannibals. Well, why couldn't the cannibals just leave us alone? I don't know. Jealousy maybe of our fair city of Freetown and the long trees of Japan. Or maybe they just like the way we tasted. They don't have farms like we do, see. So they hunt. They eat whatever they can find. That includes us.
Grandma, you devious! What did I tell you about scary stories before bed?
This is a scary story. This is a precautionary tale. Even the little cannibals haven't seen recently. They're still out there fighting their pride in the fancy forest. Any merchant foolish enough to travel alone still disappears. Never to be heard from again.
Honey, you don't need to worry about that. The cannibals that used to live in the wilderness moved away a long time ago. But if they wanted to eat you, I would sympathize.
How do you explain the remains? You see the Nile River, flowing with whatever the cannibals throw away. It's a bony grizzle left over from their feasting. Once a farmer's boy even said he saw human skulls floating past.
Great. Now Lucy's gonna be up all night. How are you not in a nut house?
Better than being snatched up by the cannibals. But what would they do to me? Nobody knows. Nobody's ever come back alive. And if you find yourself being snatched, better start praying. They kill you straight away. Better that than being brought before the cannibal king. Your Majesty, my faithful monkey, George, has intercepted a mail wagon traveling west of Freetown. He found a letter bearing the king's insignia.
Excellent. Dearest Curtis, old chum, we would be delighted to welcome the Oatsworth family to Freetown as our guests. I'm sure Richard would be delighted to meet Catherine after so long. This Catherine
Is the pretty princess of Freetown and the surrounding lands. She's finally come of marriageable age, but her father wishes to match her with us. Richard Oatsworth, a local nobleman.
excellent. Exactly as we predicted. But we have our own proposal to make. Isn't that right, Aladu?
I'm sure, Father.
Spell it out!
I'm S-U-R-E, sure, Father.
We've spent a long time waiting for this day, my son. Make sure you play your part well.
Same is true for all of us. Tomorrow, we will show the parasites in Freetown what the cannibals are capable of. Get off guard. See if this letter is returned safely to the mailman.
But your Majesty, you destroyed the seal. We won't be able to return the letter without arousing suspicion.
Let them be suspicious. Whatever measures they try to take against us will be too powerful to stop. We'll crush anyone who stands in our way. Now all of you, go back to your bungalows and get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, we'll show the parasites in Freetown some true cannibal hospitality.
not every day you can meet an eligible young bachelor, and especially a bachelor as eligible as Richard Oatsford.
I'll decide that when I meet him, but I don't see how some cowboy could ever be a match for me.
He's not just a cowboy, Catherine. Richard is the heir to the Oatsford estate. The Oatsfords own half the farmland west of Freetown, you know.
Although I should warn you, if Richard's grown up to be anything like his father, he'll be quite the ladies' man. I'm sure you'll find his charms quite hard to resist.
You're talking about a son you're already married, and I haven't even met him yet.
I know, my pet. But when you meet him, just remember that there's more at stake than your future family.
Indeed. Between you and me, my darling, I rather get the impression that the Oatsworths have fallen on hard times recently. But even if the family is penniless, the Oatsworth land is priceless, ripe for development. But if the two families were to be united, the Oatsworth land backed by the Frick fortune, why both families' wealth would be assured for generations.
But Richard's not going to be interested in you if you look like you've been crawling through a hedgerow.
How else am I supposed to get my Mr. Narrows back?
Lucy, Lucy!
Ma'am?
Lucy, could you find a bonnet for Miss Catherine? I'm afraid there's nothing else to do but hide the unsightliness on her head.
Of course, ma'am.
Really? I don't know why we keep the maid of yours around. If she can't keep you looking presentable.
She tried to, but I didn't give her a chance. We were on the archery range all day.
That's another thing. You and Lucy seem all too close together for a young lady and her maid. Although it's perfectly natural she provides someone your maid, the two of you are inseparable. There we are. The Oatsworths will be here any minute. Mayor and Lady Threat, the Oatsworth carriage has arrived. There we are. Oh, Lucy, why don't you at least get it straight?
Theodore, my man, it's been too long. Never a dull moment. Freetown is growing and growing, and there's no shortage of demand for luxury goods.
I wish I could say the same for Adel. Many of both families moved back here to Freetown, too afraid of the cannibals.
I keep telling we should do the same. I feel so much safer behind the city walls.
What? And give up the family estate? The Oatsworths have farmed that land for generations.
The situation's worse than that. We've lost several farmhands over the years. They go out late at night and poof, they disappear into the forest, never to be heard from again.
It's their own darn fault letting themselves get eaten by cannibals. Did I remember the Oatsworth family ever getting eaten by cannibals? No. And you know what? We got heads screwed on properly. We don't take unnecessary risks.
Besides, they're not as dangerous as they used to be.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the ones working the field day and night.
Catherine has quite enough out of you.
You city folk always saying the same darn thing. I'd like to take you back to the Oatsworth ranch with me. See how long you lasted before you went running back to the big city.
Richard, please, that's no way to talk to a young lady.
Good heavens, I don't think we've properly introduced ourselves.
Fault was all mine. May and related to my wife, Ella Oatsworth, and my son, Richard Oatsworth.
My wife, Constance Fripp, and our only daughter, Miss Catherine Fripp.
Mrs. Oatsworth, I've heard you have a fine taste for wallpaper. May I show you our plans to redecorate the dining room? My husband and I just can't decide.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Curtis, I found a way to expand Freetown considerably while preserving most of the city walls. You must come see the plans in my study.
Can't mean to suggest that we leave Richard and your daughter alone? Why, he's almost as much as a lady killer's old man used to be.
What was I thinking? John, please chaperone these pair of lovebirds.
Of course, ma'am.
I'm sure Lucy will be able to look after me on her own.
I'm not sure which one of you I trust more, but I dare say y'all deserve a little privacy. John, please tend to Mr. Oatsworth's carriage.
Right away, ma'am.
I'll see the pair of you at dinner. Our cook's preparing her specialty, stuffed goose.
Mister, I apologize if I came across a little rude just now.
I just don't appreciate a pampered city girl telling me I've got it easy.
I suppose I should apologize as well. You're right, I've never been outside the walls of Freetown.
It's a hard life without the luxuries you're used to, but a fulfilling one.
So is it true what your parents were saying? Do you ever see the cannibals?
Yeah, you occasionally see them skulking in the woods around Adel. Me and Pa have to round up the boys and drive them out of our patch.
You mean you've actually fought them?
You gotta do what you gotta do for the families and livestock of Adel.
Surely not all the tribes are that bad.
The cannibals may look like us on the outside, mister. Don't be fooled. Their blood runs blue, not red, and you can't change the color of your blood. Don't worry. If you lived out there with me, you'd have nothing to fear from the cannibals. Your husband would take good care of you.
I can take perfectly good care of myself. I'll have you know I'm one of the sharpest shooters in Freetown, second to only my maid, Lucy.
What's a pretty thing like you doing using a gun? Don't you trust your pa to look after you?
Not a gun, a bow.
Oh, so you're an archer. That's a sweet hobby. But if I ever came up against a cannibal, I'd rather have a gun.
You wouldn't be saying that if you'd seen what I can do with a bow and arrow.
Oh, well, I'd just love to find out.
I'll shoot an arrow straight through your heart if you're not careful.
Oh, Miss Thrift, you already have.
What do you make of Richard?
Mr. Oatsworth? He seems like a very nice gentleman.
Please, Lucy, you can tell me the truth.
If I may be honest, miss, he didn't seem like your type.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't know what Pa's thinking, matching me with some country boy with mud under his fingernails. Lucy, don't you want to shoot?
That's all right, miss.
Don't be silly. If you don't keep practicing, you might get better than me one day.
That's something I could never allow to happen.
I just don't understand what Pa's thinking, matching me with some gun-slinging cowboy. I mean, I know he and Richard's father are old friends and all, but still.
Don't forget what he was saying about the family fortune, miss. Perhaps he's just thinking about the Oatsworth estate.
But I'm the mayor's daughter, not some kind of princess. Pa can't match me with some cowboy just because it suits his business interests.
I'm sure he won't, miss. He's just hoping that the two of you will fall in love naturally.
Please, I'd rather marry a cannibal than Richard Oatsworth.
Miss Thrift, you do have a way with words.
What an unexpected pleasure. Would you like to try your hand with the bow and arrow, or have you got more manly things to be doing?
I just came down here because I wanted to apologize. Our carriage is leaving shortly for Adel.
My heart is breaking already.
I fear I haven't made the best impression on you, for which I humbly apologize. Would you give me the chance to make amends? Would you do me the honor of accompanying me on a visit to Adel?
Are you serious?
My pa gave me a very stern talking to last night, and he reminded me how important a marriage to you could be to our families. So just one visit and I'll show you everything in your life as Mrs. Oatsworth could be.
I don't know about this. Lucy, what do you think?
Give the man a second chance. He seems sorry enough to me.
Very well. I shall put up with the Oatsworth hospitality for 1 weekend only.
I'm glad you think so highly of your maid's opinion. Lucy, I'm in your debt.
Are you ready, sir?
Wait a minute, Harry. I think I'd like to drive the carriage home.
Are you sure, sir?
Yes, I've just remembered our honored guest, Miss Thrift, has never been into the country before. Miss Thrift, would you care to sit out front with me?
If you insist, Mr. Oatsworth.
Yeah, Fluffy! Yeah, Burger! The road home is beautiful at this time of year. If we're lucky, we might even be able to see the sunset.
I never knew how have all the corn let's close up.
They should be ready to harvest by the end of this month.
That must be a huge job.
Not if you have a big enough team of farmhands, and there's always migrants passing through Ada looking for work.
Then why is it still such a small village?
Well, they don't tend to stay very long. They don't get eaten by the cannibals, if that's what you're thinking. No, they just keep moving west, looking for their fortunes, I suppose.
What about the rest?
Well, they get eaten by the cannibals.
Don't you feel scared traveling this road alone?
What, the road to Freetown? Course not. Everything you can see here is a part of the Oatsworth estate. The cannibals know better than to go trespassing on our land. They haven't been seen here in generations.
Didn't you say they've getting stronger recently?
Stronger? No, just more of a nuisance, it's all. Nothing we can't handle. We've got to get out of here!
We've got to rescue Lucy!
There's no time for that! Yaw! Fluffy, yaw!
S-U-C-C-E-S-S. That's the way we spell kidnapped.
Think more surely she'd be happy to hear this. Where am I? What is this place? You're in the king's castle, princess. You call this a castle? It's nothing more than a few tents. Our bungalows may be small dwellings, but they're all we need. Grog, how went the battle?
There was no battle for far. They were unarmed and unprepared for our might. Just as King Morsor knew they would be.
Were there others?
Only the carriage drivers, they escaped. No doubt they've already returned to Freetown to tell another tale of the cannibals.
That was dangerous.
You should have captured them all, as I commanded.
The parasites are weak and pathetic now. They have no armies. They don't even carry bows.
Still, they're dangerous when they're scared. It won't be long before they muster an army and send them deep into the bamboo forest.
I hope they do. We'll be ready.
Who is this?
He was riding in the carriage with her. Must be her boyfriend, Richard Oatsworth.
Her boyfriend, you say? Get rid of him. We've no use for him.
Right away, King.
Where are you taking me? Get off me! No!
Wait. What are you gonna do to him?
I'll give you one kiss, red one.
You're monsters!
You ain't monsters in this country, and you pathetic red blood kind!
Enough of this! We don't have much time. Princess, there's someone I'd like you to meet. My son, Prince Alibu.
Pleased to meet you, princess.
Spell it out!
Pleased to M-E-E-T, meet you, princess.
Better. I suggest you spend some time getting to know each other. He'll be your husband before long.
Husband? What do you mean?
Let me explain. For generations, my people have been shunned by the parasites, pushed deeper and deeper into the wilderness. It ends now!
But who are the parasites?
That's the name we give your kind, the red bloods, princess. Suits you, don't you think? Spreading like a disease across the land. Building up those hideous piles of stone to mark your territory. Cutting down the ancient forests to build those barren wastelands you call farms.
But we're not parasites.
And we're not cannibals, but that's never stopped you and your people from branding us as murder savages.
That's not true. What about all the people that go missing?
You'll find out the truth in time. Soon, you'll marry my son, Alibu. And once the red blood princess is married to the blue blood prince, your people will have no choice but to accept us as their own.
You do realize this plan is crazy, right? I'm not any kind of princess.
Don't lie to us, princess. You and your boyfriend came from the castle. Isn't that right?
That's right. We pulled them right out of the royal carriage itself. There was no mistaking them.
Exactly. You're King Theodore's daughter, Princess Catherine Thrift. Don't lie to us.
Okay, for one thing, This Strip isn't a princess. She's just the daughter of the mayor of Freetown.
Oh, really? Then who is the king?
Freetown doesn't have a king. And even if it did, I wouldn't be its princess. I'm not Miss Thrip. I'm just her maid.
Don't think you can fool us into letting you go, Princess. You will be married to Prince Appleboo. And then the Red Bloods will be forced to bow down to the Blue Bloods.
German, Brett, take the princess to Bamboo Island. It's time to show her how the cannibals treat their guests.
With pleasure.
Say goodbye to the shore. Last time you're gonna see it for a long time.
Where are you taking me?
To a place where the parasites will never find you, should they decide to come looking.
I'm sure they won't. People go missing in the forest every year and nobody ever hopes to find them. Why would somebody go after a humble maid?
This may be that maid is really a princess trying to pull the wool over old Charon's eyes. Old Charon's a lot smarter than that. You gotta be smart to fool me. You gotta be smart to survive on this lake.
What's so difficult about going across a lake?
You see them fish? We call them kissing fish. You wanna know why?
Is it because of the kissing sounds they make when they jump?
Well, yeah. What? That's about right. That's a kissing sound. But I bet you didn't know this. They're not really kissing at all. You don't want to know what they're doing?
Not really.
They're sharpening their teeth while they're sizing you up. Wondering how many bites it takes to gobble you up. That's right. They're deadly carnivores. Many's young wary boatman who's dipped a toe in the water and... what? Fish food! Looks like we're here already. Bamboo Island. Wanna know why we call it Bamboo Island?
Sure.
That's because of the giant bamboo tree that sits in its center. I hope you like it. It's gonna be your new home. What? This lake feeds the Nile River. Flows all the way down to Freetown. You know why we call it the Nile River?
Not a clue.
Dang, I don't know either. I was hoping you'd tell me. Anyway, I bet you're thinking how easy it'd be to escape. All you gotta do is swim across this lake, and the Nile River take you right back down to Freetown.
Actually, I was wondering if Bamboo Island has Wi-Fi.
But if you swim across this water, if you so much as dip a toe in the water, the kissing fish will be on you in a flash. What? They'll tear you apart. They'll rip the flesh from your bones, and the only thing that'll float down to Freetown is your skeleton.
Welcome to the Bamboo Island. I hope you enjoy your stay. But if you have any things that I can make you feel comfortable, please do not hesitate to let me know. I'm not please enjoy your complimentary glass of Nile water. Now, before I go, don't you have anything better to do? before I get to it, do you have any dietary requirements?
No.
Sensitivity?
No. The only nuts around here are you two.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Someone help us!
What's this commotion? Mr. Oaksworth, Miss Swift, what's happened to you?
Cannibal attack! Just poor Adel! We barely got out alive!
A cannibal attack? I wouldn't have thought such a thing possible.
Neither would I! I barely got myself and Mr. out alive. They came out of nowhere and tried to kidnap us.
I can only thank the heavens my daughter was traveling with you. I wouldn't have known what to do in that situation.
Never have I been so sure you're the right man for my daughter to marry.
I barely got us out alive, but they got my driver and Mr. maid.
What are they gonna do to her?
I hate to break it to you, but they're not called cannibals for nothing.
What? You mean they're gonna eat her?
Poor girl. She's been a loyal maid to Catherine for many years. I can't imagine how her family will take the news.
They won't have to. We're going back for her, aren't we, Richard?
Oh, what? You've been traveling through the night, mister. You need some rest.
We have to go back for her.
I know you must feel very shaken up after what's happened, but if we send people out after Lucy right now, we could find ourselves walking into a death trap. Who knows what the cannibals are capable of nowadays? It's been years since they were last seen in Freetown.
Imagine if it had been me getting captured by the cannibals. You'd be mounting a rescue expedition already.
But it's not you. A fact for you should be thanking Mr. Oaksworth.
They just kidnapped 2 people off the road to Adel. If we don't strike back, they'll think we've grown weak. Maybe next time they'll come to Freetown itself.
That's why we built these strong city walls. The cannibals have never made it past Freetown.
You know, Mr. may have a point about this. If we don't come and go to them, the cannibals might think we've grown weak and come back in great numbers. Mayor, if you want to keep the citizens safe in Freetown, you should rally a people's army and take the fight to the cannibals.
There may be some merit in that idea. After all, our people have been terrified of cannibals since our ancestors first settled here. What if we were the ones to finally end the cannibal threat after all?
Merthyr, you can go down in history.
Mr. Ellsworth, you've outwon me over. Tomorrow, we shall sound the alarm and begin to rally a citizens' army. I'll have supplies and munitions sent into Freetown with all haste. The cannibals won't get away with this.
Yeah!
Princess! Oi! Princess! For the last time, I'm not... Oh, it's you. The Prince of the Cannibals.
You can call me Ellie.
Did you row all the way across the lake just to taunt me some more?
Yeah, well, I came here to tell you that I believe you. You're not really the red blood princess at all, are you?
No, and there are no princesses from where I come from.
I'm relieved to hear it. Perhaps now my father will stop pursuing his plans.
You mean, you think it's stupid too?
It's worse than stupid. It's going to K-I-L-L kill us all.
What do you mean?
If we had really captured the red blood princess, the red bloods would have started a war which we could have never won, despite what my father S-A-Y says.
Why do you keep doing that?
What?
Spelling out half the words you say?
We take spelling very seriously. We weren't always able to spell. We used to be unable to R-E-A-D-B to locate books.
So now your father forces you to spell out half the words you say.
You might not understand or care about the books, but we have our own traditions and values and take them very seriously.
Like kidnapping innocent maids and trapping them on deserted islands surrounded by carnivorous fish?
Just came here to ask you anything you wanted.
Yes. Get me off this stupid island and row me back to Freetown.
I would, but my father would murder me if he found out.
Won't you already be in trouble when he finds out where you've been?
No, the Blue Bloods don't live together as families, you see. We live in separate bungalows, only big enough for one person.
Must get lonely.
It's tradition. We've always built the bungalows T-I-N-Y tiny.
Well, in that case, why don't you get back to your stupid B-O-A-T code and leave me A-L-O-N-E alone? I've got enough problems without you coming here whining about me. You can't even stand up to your own father.
the royal temple tomorrow. I'll see you then, princess.
What's going on? Why haven't we sent the army to rescue Lucy yet?
Patience, my darling. We can't afford to make a move until everything's in its place.
How can we tell him to be patient? It's been 2 weeks. Every day that we wait is another day that the cannibals could. Oh, I just don't want to think about it.
If our soldiers march straight into that forest without adequate supplies, they could be eaten alive. Literally.
Ma'am, the latest shipment of ancestors against hair serums.
Perfect. May search distributed amongst the troops.
Aren't there more important things to be worried about, such as my maid's life?
The humiliating levels in the forest are through the roof. We don't get some hair serum soon, our first halos will be all over the place.
Yeah, we're soldiers. We can't be expected to live like cannibal scum.
Oh no. Oh, that reminds me. Got any jar shampoo?
My trading partners have already dispatched it. It should be here by the end of the week.
The end of the week? We can't afford to wait that long. It's been 2 weeks and Pa still hasn't done anything. It's like he doesn't even care.
Give your old man a break. He's just scared of the cannibals. We all are. I've been dealing with them my whole life, and even I didn't see this coming.
I don't care. We've got to do something. You said you're pretty handy with a gun. Why don't you round up some of the boys on your ranch and deal with them yourself?
We can't do that. We can deal with them in open farmland, but in the forest, they always have the upper hand.
Why's that?
I don't know. I guess it's because they were totally alone, and they know how to keep silent, and they use their bows.
Is that so? Well, they don't have to be the only ones.
What do you mean?
Perhaps you've been doing this all wrong. Perhaps an army would never be able to defeat the cannibals. The only way I'm going to see Lucy again is if I find her myself.
You can't be serious. I know you're upset, but...
The cannibals must have had a reason for kidnapping Lucy. Perhaps if I speak to them alone, I can find out what it is.
Mister, I think you should sit down and think about this for a second. What would your pa say? Miss Threat? Miss Threat!
We've got a college vote in Your Majesty.
Just as George told us.
How can this be, Alibu? Have you really been visiting that parasite scum?
Yes, Father.
How often?
Every night, Father.
Every night? For how long?
Since she first came here.
What would possess you to do such a thing? That girl is a red blood. She's one of the people that enslaved us.
Why can't you just let her go? She doesn't have to be our enemy, nor do any of the Red Bloods. We can live SID side by side, in peace.
We've lived in fear of the red blood since their ancestors first settled here. I'd sooner die than make peace with those monsters.
Alibu, if you've ever seen the city of Freetown, you'd understand. It sits on top of the hill, its white stone buildings shining in the sun.
Every stone of that city was placed by our people.
Around it, as far as the eye can see, are fields overflowing with crops.
Our ancestors worked those fields tirelessly, only for the red bloods to grow fat from their bounty.
Everything they have, they took from us. They took our land, and when that was enough, they took our bodies and souls too.
Yeah, but that was the PSD past. Can't we just let it go?
While the red blood parasites feast off our land, we can never be truly free. When you turn a blind eye to the past, Alibu, you bring shame to the red blue bloods and desecrate the memories of our ancestors. And if I never live to have my vengeance, you must carry on our great work in our name. Do you understand? Do you?
More sword!
Alibu, my son, you must put an end to this.
I will, Father.
The king is dead.
Long live the king.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
My father's heart has been beaten for many years. Plot to destroy your people brought it on, I'm sure of it. Today, he learned that I'd be coming across the lake every night to see you. He was so upset at my betrayal that his heart failed him.
I'm sorry. Your father was a great man?
You're not sorry! He ordered your kidnapping. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't be stuck on this island.
Yes, but if you're sorry, then I'm sorry too.
It wasn't the son he wanted. He wanted a fierce and mighty warrior. Instead, he got me, a weak and pathetic argument runt couldn't even do as the SAI just said.
You weren't weak to stand up to him. You were brave.
Not brave enough. Now I'm the Cannibal King. The very name of the Cannibal King is supposed to strike his enemies dead with fear. I couldn't even scare you if I tried.
Okay, but did you at least wash that nose ring before you put it in?
This is my father's nose ring, and his father's before him. It would be a desecration to wash it.
I'm gonna go ahead and not touch it. I hope you don't mind.
I don't even know why we wear these nose rings anymore. It's just another sign of our shameful past. As your people, you see, give us these rings to mark us as slaves.
Slaves? What do you mean?
When your red blood ancestors first came to Blue Blood territory, they engaged in terrible wars with Blue Bloods we could have never hoped to have won. They had guns. We only had bows and arrows. After the war, your red blood ancestors took in the remaining Blue Bloods and forced them to be their slaves. They hammered these rings into our noses to show our value. The more industrious the slave, the bigger the nose ring. Even after escape, we kept these nose rings to show our place in society.
Escape?
The more empowered you are, the bigger your nose ring. The Cannibal King is the biggest nose ring of all.
Escape? How?
Well, you see, when we were first enslaved, we were forbidden from learning to read or write.
Why would it matter if you could read and write?
Without written word, there was no communication. The Red Blood forces lived separately, you see, in tiny shacks called bungalows. While we were kept ignorant of the past, we wouldn't even want our freedom.
Then how did you ever manage to escape?
One slave learned to read and write in secret. He told the other slaves their past, how they are proud and noble people who've been wrongly enslaved. He then organized an escape by midnight, and they fled down the Nile River to this lake where they built a castle upon its banks. That man was my great-great-grandfather, the very first Cannibal King.
I never knew.
I'm not surprised. The Red Bloods could never admit that their hard-earned wealth was stolen, that we escaped in the end.
The citizens of Freetown knew the truth.
Why did we think we hated you so much?
I just thought you wanted to eat us.
We didn't want to eat you. We just want back what's rightfully ours, our land and our freedom. But you don't need to be involved in this. I'll bring you back to Freetown.
No, it's too dangerous. You can't. And besides, maybe I don't want to go back to Freetown anymore.
Well, I'm not keeping you prisoner here. You can come back with me and live with us. I'll build you your own bungalow.
Maybe I don't want my own bungalow.
You wouldn't be saying that if you seen my bungalow. It's barely big enough for me to fit inside.
Then you'll just have to build me a bigger one.
I don't know how the others feel about that. Our bungalow size is a tradition.
Don't you see though? You're the Cannibal King now. It's up to you to decide what's best for your people. And besides, you shouldn't even live in shacks by yourself or wear those nose rings. You shouldn't even call yourself the Cannibal King if it's not the one you want. So what do you want?
Wants to fulfill my father's last request to me. Want to end the conflicts between the Red Bloods and Blue Bloods. How? I don't have his might or his anger.
Your father's might and anger didn't help him end the conflict, but you will.
How can you be so as you already sure?
Because you have something far more powerful than weapons or might. You have me.
So good. Oh, what?
Lucy?
What
Why are they?
What? This is getting awkward.
Tell me about it.
I can explain.
Why don't you go first?
No, after you, Miss Catherine.
Well, after you were kidnapped, I did everything I could to get my father to rescue, but then I realized he had no actual plans of going after you, so I had no choice but to do something
Miss
myself.
Catherine, I've fallen in love.
I don't know what the cannibals have done to you, Lucy. Don't you remember who you are? You belong with me, not these murderous savages.
We had it all wrong, Miss Catherine. They're not murderous savages. We are. 100 years ago, the cannibals were our slaves.
What do you mean slaves? That's crazy.
And they're not cannibals and never have been. We just made that up to feel less guilty about what we did in our past. They call themselves the Blue Bloods.
Don't you remember how they attacked us? They carried off you and that Oatsworth carriage driver, Harry. Harry, is that really you?
Although my blood has changed from red to blue, I have a new blue blood name now. Hashtag.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't change the color of your blood.
Of course you can. You don't actually think blue bloods have different colored bloods, did you? All those farm hands who thought we had changed the color, who thought we had been eaten, had actually chosen to become blue bloods.
Why would anybody want to do that?
For years, I was treated little better than a slave by the Oatsworth family. Day in and day out, from the crack of dawn to after sunset, I was tending to those horses. All I got in return were meals and lodgings and a salary so meager that it was barely worth counting. I tell you, it was almost as bad as being a camp counselor.
It sounds horrible.
But I have written the forest. I have new life now. Serving my teacher.
Did Harry, hashtag, just call you queen?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. My blood's also changed color. I'm now the Blue Blood Queen.
Dang, girl, you move quickly.
Let me take you back to Blue Blood Castle. Then I can prove to you that I'm not lying. They mean us no harm.
Then we've made a terrible mistake.
But it's not too late to fix it.
It might be. What do you mean? To tell you the truth, Lucy, I didn't think I'd have a chance of finding you. My father's been organizing a rescue mission ever since you were kidnapped, but I realized he had no real plans in sending it out after you. I figured if I were to go missing, he'd have no choice but to send it out after me. I'm afraid an army might already be on its way.
I still think this idea of doing slightly bad, Mr. Oatsworth.
I've been tending this lake for years. I know the Nile River like the back of my hand.
This is supposed to be an invasion, not some kind of cruise holiday.
If we follow the Nile River upstream, we'll come to a lake in the heart of Cannibal territory.
Look, the river's opening up, Surgeon.
What did I tell you? George, is there any sign of the cannibal encampment?
No, sir. The shoreline's empty. Just coming past us with a huge bamboo tree. Coming past us on our left.
Perfect. We'll have the element of surprise.
Look, fish. Can I feed them, please, please? Lenny, our supplies are very limited. Who knows how long? Lenny, what do you think you're doing?
I've never seen fish devour food that fast before.
Oh, wow.
I thought we were vegetarians.
Whoa!
My finger's bleeding. These gliders have sharp teeth.
Oh, wow.
Maybe if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone.
We've come to leave the bar below. Look, Richard.
What? How can that be?
It must be those fish. They're chewing right through. We're sinking.
Lance, we've got an emergency exit! We've lost everything! All our supplies, all our weapons!
Don't worry, everybody. I saved us enough conditioner for us to last at least 2 weeks. No, you monster!
We've got to work out how on earth we're gonna get back home! We're in the heart of Cannibal territory right now, with nothing to defend ourselves with!
I guess we'll just have to wait until we're rescued.
By who? The Cannibal King?
That's the blue blood king to you. Come on, us. Don't eat us.
Bow before the blue blood king and queen.
What? Wait! Stop, God. We've stopped the whole kneeling thing, remember?
What? First, you make us take out our nose rings. Then you let us build our bungalows any size we want. And now, you won't even let the red blood enemy bow before the blue blood king and queen superior.
Papa, the red bloods aren't our enemies anymore. They're our guests. Now, why have you come to my castle?
I've came here to find Miss Catherine Threat. Wait a minute. I recognize you. You're the man who got kidnapped. You're the reason I lost my darling Catherine to the cannibals. You're a traitor. What have you done to Catherine?
Don't worry, she's fine.
Then why hasn't she returned to Freetown?
Remember the day on the archery range? You invited Miss Catherine on a trip to Adel. And she would have said no, but I convinced her to give you a second chance. How about you return the favor?
I don't know what's going on here, but all I want is to see Miss Catherine again. She's like no other girl I've ever met. She's braver than me and clever too. I try to act tough, but I just can't. Even when I was entering blue blood territory, I couldn't even do it with my farm hands beside me. Even through the time we were planning our attack, I was too scared even to tell her how I was really feeling about her. The truth is, I want to see Miss Catherine again so I can ask her for her hand in marriage. Miss Catherine, I didn't come here for my father's sake. Who cares what our parents think about us? All I care about is what you want. Say you'll marry me.
For the first time since I met you, I think you're being honest with me. But what's the big idea to charge to my rescue like this?
I know it wasn't a clever idea, but it was the only idea I had. I couldn't bear to lose you.
Well, okay then. But on one condition.
Anything.
Our friends, the Blue Bloods, want to end the conflict between our people forever. And I know just how we can do it. But it'll take both of us. Can you handle that?
I'll do whatever it takes.
I can't tell you how pleased I am that everything worked out for the best.
Our son, married to the mayor's daughter. We couldn't be be happier, could we, Curtis?
When Richard told us he was a man captain, he was insisting to take control of the Oakwood estate. Between you and me, I was very grateful. Helen and I have been looking for a chance to retire for years.
He's never shown so much interest in the family estate before. He's always been too busy groping around the farmland with those farm hands.
When Richard took, you got us clear having a positive effect on him. He's hardly set foot at the city since he got back from the honeymoon. He's been drawing up all kinds of plans and contracts that even I can't make sense of.
I have no doubt in my mind he's trying to find a way to invest in good fortune.
Especially after all that nasty business with the cannibals, which almost ruined everything we planned.
That's exceptionally generous of you.
Well, what do me and Thompson have for now? We have enough to live after. Why not just invest the rest in our children's future? And I think we can safely say that the cannibals are just a nasty memory now.
Here comes the two lovebirds now.
How's Ada? How's your new home? Not too rough for I hope.
Ada's lovely. We're very happy there.
I'm glad to hear it.
Especially now that our plans have been finalized.
What might these plans be? I'm dying to hear about your vision for the future of Freetown and the Oakwood estate.
Ma, Pa, the Oatsworth estate is no more. I sold the whole thing.
What? Is this some kind of joke? Oakwood estate has been in this family for generations.
And now it's been returned to its original owners, the Blue Bloods.
You mean the cannibals? You sold our land to a bunch of savages?
It was the least we could do.
Don't worry, we got a good price for it. In exchange, the Blue Bloods have agreed to forgive us for our crimes against them and put an end to their raids. From now on, they'll be welcome on our farms and in our cities as equals.
Catherine, this idea is suicide.
We trusted you with the first family fortune and you've thrown it all away.
Nonsense! It'll make us all better off. We now have trading partners much closer than your friends over the sea who will be happy to provide us with everything we need. I felt it was only fair to give them my inheritance just so they could get started.
Just think of the this kind of makes my hair on my
Well, that was better than I expected.
I thought they'd take it a lot worse, but
At least we can invite our guests of honor now.
Mr. and Mrs. Oatsworth, may I present the retinue of the Blue Blood King and Queen?